There we are. Hello y'all, it's Wiggle here. Thanks for joining today. Wanted to show you something I've been working on and off, trying to beat the heat. It's a timber framed off-grid bathroom. I cut all this stuff on the sawmill. So, had a few challenges with this particular project. Get where you can see my pitch. You really need to stay 2 and 12 pitch with the metal roof, and I'm not quite there, but I needed the height. I wanted to keep the height of my front wall for a door, and I didn't want to bring it down too low. I wanted to have as much height as possible with what I'm working with. So low pitch, I'm going to go ahead and put some nice 5V metal on there. Also, part of the problem with trying to keep the height down is my rafters tied into that header there, that main beam. Instead of bird's nest or going over the top of them or whatever, I'm tying them into that beam. It's oak beam, 2 inch, pretty heavy duty, and I'm going to do some things to reinforce it, which I'll show you. This is kind of my own brand of timber framing. I use those really good like landscape timber ties, those screw in, they have a star bit on them. Wood screws, they're expensive, but man, they're really good. So that's what I did on this end of the rafter to hold it to that main beam there. And then over here where I tied it in to the existing rafter, I put a 1/4 inch bolt with fender washers on either side. It's going through that oak beam, and then it's going through a pine 2x4. I've done this before. I've never had any kind of failure or anything. So, and I've had some pretty good sized spans. So it doesn't seem like much, but it's going to hold. And I will get some other support underneath those beams just from the 1 inch barn board that I'm going to put under there, like a trim board. So it'll be holding it to keep it from, if it does ever come loose, it's not going to fall. I'm going to just snug it up with a nice trim board, thick oak trim board. Same on the front here. That little bit will be where my interior barn boards tie the top there, and then they'll also be holding up. Then I'll probably just put in a really nice thick piece of trim, some screws in it, and I mean, those beams are not going to collapse. So the plan is here, I put my 2 inch foam on a table saw, cut it perfectly in half, and these are 2-foot sections where my foam will fit perfectly in there. I'm going to put Tyvek on and foam, and then I'm going to tie this whole wall together with barn board, and it's going to be like a whole unit. That's where all my strength, that's where all of my, you know, where I don't have gussets, where you would have this scissoring effect. This is going to be one solid, stout unit. So that's why the framing looks minimal. All my strength is going to come from the vertical boards coming up and down, very well screwed in. It's going to be like a component. It's a whole giant. This is just 2 inch by 3 inch oak. And my upright here in the corner, I left it so my foam will come back under behind the corner. When you're doing post framing, you always have trouble with where the posts are. So this is a little bit of a hybrid of a timber frame. I did use traditional. I used well seasoned treated, but it's not going to be off gassing, and it's not a permanent habitation. It's just a bathroom. So with the termites around here, I went ahead and just used all pressure treated. So the plan is going to have 2 bathroom stalls against that far wall, and small homemade doors going into each one, probably just like put them on a piece of unistrut and a roller, just roll them. Then there'll be a wall, partition wall here about even with this door. This is going to be a full-sized bathtub right over there. Chicken in the back of my car. Get out of my car! Hold on. Anyway, it's a verified egg eater that was in the back of that car. I'm going to catch that thing and put it in a stew pot. Don't have any tolerance for that kind of behavior here. So anyway, we're going to get the full-size bathtub in here against this wall, and it just be like a changing area, nice big spacious changing area, and then there'll be enough room between this bathroom stall and the bathroom, quote unquote. I'm going to put a washer and dryer against that. Now the intent is this all to be off-grid, so I'm going to be putting small platforms in the bathroom. We'll put the pedestal sink up on the platform where you stand up to wash your hands, and that water is going to trickle down into the back of the toilet. So all that water, and that will come directly from my main plumbing system, off-grid plumbing system, so it can be clean enough to brush your teeth with, wash your hands, and it's all good. But then it'll cycle into the toilet and then go into the sewage. I'm going to also fill the toilets from, I'm going to put gutter. I'm going to have a valley over there, and then all the gutter here, and there's going to be a tank back inside this wall. There's going to be a series of tanks in there. One of them will be to catch the rainwater, and I'll have it up high enough to density feed into both toilets, and that will be its only job. Rainwater is to flush the toilets, and I'm going to try to do it without any pressurization other than just the weight of the water and the height of the water. We'll see how that works. That will the bathtub and the washer and dryer will be on a different system. That'll be independent. I'm also going to have inside there, next to the rain catchment tank, I'm going to have an electric hot water heater that I'm going to convert over to solar with no batteries or anything. It's just going to be solar fired element, and it'll heat the water going into the bathtub and the washer and dryer. And it'll probably be anyway, I'll try to preheat it with the solar. I'm going to also get vacuum tube water heater to help with that when the need arises. That'll be a future add-on, but I'll leave a place in my plumbing where I can tie that in. Now we're in zone 7, so we have a full winter here. Not as, not a snow-covered winter, but we definitely have freezing temperatures and so forth. So this, I'm going to put a shed roof coming off of this part, and I'm going to put an off-grid kitchen. I'm going to put a wood-burning stove in there, and the wood-burning stove has a water jacket in it. So I'm also going to tie that into the bathtub and laundry. So we'll be getting hot water in the winter. We'll be getting help from the kitchen, and this is going to be a community kitchen, so I'm hoping that it stays fired up a lot. So I'll also have a vent where I vent the hot air from this section in to heat the bathroom. Hopefully we'll heat that bathroom. There's that egg eater right there. Gotta go catch her. She will pay. Alright, I'll be right back. Keeps getting away from me. So the Greywater and the Blackwater are, sewage water are separated. That way I can put the Greywater into a garden, and then I'm going to take the Blackwater way over there to a really good commercial grade septic tank I have. And I have the grade I need. It's just a long run. So anyway, that part's all off grid too. So anyway, back to the wood stove. There will be heat for the bathroom. It will be cooking and heating for hot water in the winter. I'll use propane as a backup if I need to, but I'm hoping to not have to heat this bathroom. Other than that, we shall see. So the plan for this off-grid bathroom is to be for over here on this field where I'll be parking tiny homes and RVs and even camping for people that are, looking at off-grid communities and just, want to come check it out or do a little volunteer. Nothing permanent. And in this whole section, it's kind of be sectioned off from the rest of my land, so they can't, there's just not an interaction unless they're invited. It's like, that's kind of like their yard over there, and the rest of it is, that way there's a degree of separation. If you don't like somebody, you can kind of encourage them to move on down the road type thing, or let them stay and maybe charge them or something. Mostly I'm looking for the right like-minded kind of people. So anyway, I'm providing the water in the bathroom. There's a hydrant over there that will be providing the clean drinking water, potable water that they need. It's all off-grid. This bathroom will be all off-grid, provided we don't have to run too much propane. And then, during the year when I don't have to heat it, then it'll be fine. It'll be just, won't really need to worry about things freezing and so forth. And in the summer, we'll maybe get a DC powered fan, a solar fan, to kind of keep the air moving through there so it doesn't get stinky. maybe kind of adjusting to just having warm showers, not like piping hot showers type thing. We'll just see how much hot water we can generate with this wood stove and with the solar. We'll see how that all goes. I haven't ever done any of that vacuum tube or anything. I want to give that a shot. There is a way to convert a regular electric hot water tank over to a DC. Basically, you can use the same element. You just have to do some work with the thermostat and so forth, and the safety. You can't override the safety where it would quit heating if it gets too hot. So you got to take some safety measures. And if it's a dual element hot water tank and you're just using the bottom element to directly heat with photovoltaic PV direct heating, I doubt you're ever going to get that water overheated, but we'll just have to see. Got to have safety in mind. You don't want to have a bomb go off, hot water bomb. You want to keep it reasonable. But then you don't have to worry about stagnant water in your systems. You don't have to worry about systems freezing up and all that. You know, the more passive hot water heating, I don't know if I want to mess with it. If I was going to mess with that, again, I'd do those solar tubes. Those are awesome. At least I've been told. So what else is off-grid about it? Just, I've done a video on my off-grid water tank. So the idea is to provide the sanitation and convenience that most people would expect in a reasonable way, but do it all off-grid. No propane inputs or anything like that, hopefully. We do have ample wood resources, so that wood stove is like an ideal solution. I'm going to put big doors out here on where you can open it up. Maybe just have some big screen doors. So in the summer, if you need to, you're over here staying in the parking lot area and you need to cook, then this will be a place to come cook. You won't have to burn your resources. You can use your wood stove, and it can, again, somebody can go in and take a shower while you're cooking, and now you're getting double duty out of that wood, even in warmer months. You'll be getting triple duty out of that wood in the colder months. So this will have to be a very well ventilated kitchen as well as very well insulated. So depending on the time of year. So anyway, I think I'm going long on this. It's kind of rambling. I just wanted you to see where I'm at. I'm going to get it functional, but not fully trimmed out or anything like that. I have a lot of digging to do. Greywater is going to end up down where that depression is, low spot, kind of right in front. And I'll put a garden in right on top of it. And that septic is all the way between that little trailer and that cargo container, way over there. So I've got a lot of digging to do to get it all the way over here. I've got to get it through these trees. Right there is where I have my pipes right now. And I had to tell you, I had a challenge just finding enough pipes to do the job. It took a number of trips, and I had to be patient to finally get enough. I'm going to use kind of that thin gauge sewer pipe, that white stuff. That will connect these. Then I'm going to use corrugated for the gray water until I get it down there in that gray water field. And I got to make the gray water field where surface water goes around it because I don't want to overdose it. So it's going to be a kind of the idea of like a septic pond, but it's not going to be septic. It's just going to be gray water. But I'll put a lot of chips and have it very biologically active, and it'll process all the soaps and so forth. All the gray matter will get processed by fruit trees, and it should be plenty safe for human consumption. Only the Blackwater is going out to that septic, and that septic is a nice one, so it'll hold a very nice volume of flushes. So it should be able to service quite a few people very safely. So that's a huge thing, is that septic system. That's kind of an overview. I'll give you some pictures as I proceed. Thanks for watching.